WLA, not sure what year it is. I haven't had a look at the belly pan numbers. Belongs to Charlie Hannon. Lovely guy. Rides it to death. I mean, he's just one of them, you know.
Yeah.
Goes to Normandy every year. Half of Normandy's in that belly pan over there. And all over the bloody tyres, which shit everywhere. The front forks, basically, the springs are just so worn out, they just lost it. It was all bouncy, floppy all over the place.
Yeah.
So strip the front end out. The wheel still is a little bit sitting like that.
Okay. Would that be caused by the springs?
It can be, but realistically, no.
Okay.
So I've measured everything. One of the outer fork legs is about 1/8 of an inch shorter.
Yeah.
So that will throw it that way, but I think what it had done, possibly the front wheel stud was loose, and you see these, that one was bent like that. So as you're doing the wheel up, it's drawing it over like that.
Yeah.
So fettled all them. It's all pretty much. It still is out, but it's not as far. It's marked 1,000 times. But I mean, you really look like that.
What's the repercussions of that? And
it'll just wear all the tyres out. Handle horribly, I would have thought.
yeah.
So I mean, it still is bent, but the bike's leaning that way anyway, so it's very deceptive.
Yeah.
So yeah, stripped all the front end out, tried the forks around the other way, and also where the spring rods come up through to the forks, they're actually bent like that. Tried straightening them, you're not going to do it unless you heat them, which I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So reassembled it all with the new springs that Charlie supplied. He runs a company that does Jeeps as well, Pucker military parts.
Okay. Yeah.
So he gets a lot of Harley stuff, he's into the Harleys. So he's supplied that. Put all the forks back together, it now springs, as it should do. It was using oil. So obviously they all drain back down. He hasn't started it since September. So whatever was in the oil tank will be in the bottom of the engine, there's no two ways about that. So drain the crankcase out. Thought possibly it could be the scavenge pump, which is this one on the bottom. So as the engine's running, the oil pump sits on the outside, fed by that.
Yeah.
Pumps it round the engine, and the scavenge pump, which is this one, lifts it back out, pumps it back into the oil tank through that one. Yeah. So strip the scavenge pump. Had a good look at that. Nothing obvious, but it's all cleaned out, so we know there's nothing wrong with it. There's what's called a flapper valve on the outside casing, which is this piece here. It's only very tiny. So that basically is a little flap, and it's spring loaded. You can't blow through it, you can only suck through it.
Yeah.
So was basically the inside of it was rotted out completely, missing.
Okay. And what's the purpose of the flapper valve?
It's something to do with the oiling system. So your scavenge pump is timed.
Yeah.
So that as the pistons come down, it lets air bypass, and that again, if that isn't there, it's going to oil up. So it was using, I think he said about 1 litre of oil last time, and it had just a big puddle of oil underneath it.
Yeah.
So we know that the engine casings aren't leaking back because that was full of oil.
Yeah.
It'd be all of that lot that's in that bowl would be all over the floor.
Yeah.
If the engine casings were leaking. So it's not that. So we've done that. There's no traces of oil coming off the exhaust ports particularly. You know, there's carbon, but no oil.
Yeah.
So if you've got oil coming out of there, that's your piston rings.
Okay.
But it's not rings, so it's something to do with the oiling system. Okay. So we stripped and rebuilt the oil pump, new ball bearings, new springs, reseated it, put a new flapper valve in. As long as this scavenge pump is timed up correctly, which might be a bit out, I'm not sure yet. you've got to measure that to 5/16 of an inch. So that hole there, see a little hole there? That little hole on that piece should line up in the middle of that slot.
Okay.
So, but you have to set that 5/16 of an inch away from that casing face. So I'll have to check that. You might just have to go round one tooth, not sure yet. Put it back together. It doesn't want it cleaned because he likes it covered in oil, which is not good because doing that front wheel I was black. So yeah, tighten it all up, make sure it's got a good seal on it, give it a run and try it. That's all you can do realistically. Reset the valves. You've got a new set of points you want to put in it, and it had on the carb side, that's the correct military needle. So it's just a blanking needle, and your main jet is that hole there. So change that over, and basically just give it a good tune up, you know.
Yeah.
What you normally see if one of these is really blowing out the bottom end,
Yeah.
this tube there's a bit of oil in there, but that should just put a light mist of oil into the primary chain case.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you take them off, they're just full of oil.
Right.
Absolutely ram full of it, but it's not. So it's clean on that side. It's not leaking back through the engine casings because it's been full of oil since September.
Yeah.
So it's not the bottom end as such. So it's something oil pump side, but being as that flapper valve wasn't working at all, could have been that. So we'll nail it back together and give it a try.
How much oil would you reckon a 45 should be using on a sort of weekly, monthly basis?
It's not the fact that it was using oil,
Or leaking?
it's the fact that it's leaking oil. They'll use oil, all engines use oil,
Yeah.
but not excessive, you know. You're probably supposed to check it every week or something, I don't know.
When would it become a concern?
Well, you have to keep an eye on the dipstick if it gets into the danger point.
No, what I mean is, if you're noticing that you're having to put more oil in it every week or every month or whatever.
As long as it's not smoking heavily, you know, out the back end or anything, it's just a worn engine.
Yeah.
You know, nothing to be majorly worried about. But the fact that there's a puddle like that on the floor after the last time you rode it,
Yeah.
there's something wrong. But a worn engine using oil, it's just a worn engine.
Yeah.
You know, not the end of the world. As long as it isn't bellowing smoke out everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's the first telltale sign then, really.
Oh yeah. If your ring's a shot or the guide's a shot or anything like that, it'll just black smoke. Yeah. Well, blue smoke is oil, black smoke is rich mixture.
Yeah. So when you see a car going down the road and it's billowing white smoke, what's that?
Probably a petrol car they put diesel in.
Oh, right.
Yeah, normally that's or it is.
In a lot of vans, don't you see them chucking out
well, they're all
big
diesels. So
Yeah.
you put diesel injector cleaner in them, they smoke like a pig.
Right.
For ages.
So I was always told when I was younger that if you put too much oil in your car,
Oh yeah, you can over oil them. Yeah.
you'll get a lot of smoke coming out the back
Yeah,
until it's burnt off.
Yeah, you can damage an engine quite severely by.
Really?
Oh yeah. By putting too much oil in it because it's got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You think lower crankcase compression, if you've got a gap like that between your oil level in the sump and the crankshaft and you filled it up to there, it's compressing all that oil,
Yeah.
it's got nowhere to go. It'll just either billow out the exhaust pipe or come straight back out the rocker box cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all about lower crankcase compression, which is why that breather is timed, so as the pistons come down, it lets it all vent out through here. So if you get a Harley that's been sitting for ages and you kick it over, you hear it gurgling and making funny, horrible noises.
Yeah.
That's the oil trying to escape through that hole there.
Oh, okay.
That's obviously linked to that breather. So if it's not in there, which it was in there, but it was rock solid.
Right.
So
So it does point towards that then.
yeah, it's all to do with oiling. Yeah.
It's amazing how something so small, such a small little valve, can make such a big difference, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's like Robin was saying on his car, you have what's called a PCV valve.
Yeah.
Which is positive crankcase ventilation. Put a new carb on it. Didn't bother plugging the PCV valve in. Couldn't tune it at all. Put the PCV valve in, which is only a little one-way valve that you push in the top of a rocker box cover.
So you can.
All of a sudden you can tune it.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's strange.